Hello guys, welcome to this channel. So today in this video, we will know what is new in Next.js 14 release. So I am on Next.js website and this is the release note. So we will read this blog post and know what is new in Next.js 14 release. So in this update, there is no any major changes, only performance improvement changes are done. First changes is our development environment get more faster. So right now in Next.js 13, our development server take more time to open and also take more time to reflect changes. If we do any changes, then it take more time to reflect on our site. So now it get much faster. It take 53% less time to open local server. And the other is 94% faster code update with fast refresh. It means it takes 94% less time to reflect the changes on the site. If we made any changes in our site, it will take very less time to reflect on our site. The next change is Next.js compiler turbocharged. We have been working to improve local development performance in Next.js in both the pages and app router. Previously, we are rewriting Next.dev and other parts of Next.js to support this effort. We have since changed our approach to be more incremental. This means our Rust-based compiler will reach stability soon, as we have refocused on supporting all Next.js features first. It means the Next.js compiler, which is completely rewritten in Rust, will take less time to compile our code. Our new Next.js compiler completely rewritten in Rust. That's why it became up to 53.3% faster local server startup. It means when we start our local server, it will take almost half time to start compared to Next.js 13, and also up to 94.7% faster code updates with fast refresh. It means that it will take less time, 94.7% less time to change, to reflect the changes on our site. If you do any changes in local development server, so it will take very less time to reflect these changes on our site. Benchmark is a practical result of performance improvement you should expect with a large application. With 90% test for Next.dev now passing, you should see faster and more reliable performance consistently when using Next.dev flag turbo. It means that its new Next.js compiler right now completely not able to clear its 100% of test. It is only passing its 90% of test. If that's why it is not in a stable state right now. So let's move to another feature. Now another feature is forms and mutation. So right now our server action is now in a stable mode. So previously, when we want to change any data in our site, we will do in forms, and for working of the forms, we will make our component as client component. We will write use client on top of our component. So this means that server action now become stable and we can change our data on our site without marking this component as a client component. We can do it by server action. So here is an example. It is given by Next.js. So previously what we do is, first we will make an API route where we submit our form, like pages/api/submit.ts. We make an API route submit where we will make here a post request to submit our form, like /api/submit, then post request. But from right now, if we want to change our data on our site, we don't have to mark our component as a client component. we can do in our server component. So what we will do is, here we will mark our form action as a create, and then we will make a async function create to submit our data. Here we will do is, in our create function, we mark this function as use server, and we directly submit this form without any API route. So here in our form tag, we will mark is an action equal to create, and create is our async function where we mark use server. Use server means now it is working as server action, and it submit our form without any API, direct from our function. From right now, our server action get stable, and it also support revalidate cache, redirect, set and read cookie, handle optimistic, catch and display error, display load in the state. It means that after submitting the form, want to revalidate its data, then we will use revalidate path. If we want to redirect user to another path, then we will use redirect. If we want to read cookies, then we will use cookies, and more like this. So we will move to another update right now. So the next update is partial pre-rendering. It is completely new feature in Next.14. So here we would like to share preview of partial pre-rendering, a compiler optimization for dynamic content with a fast initial static response. That's we are working on Next.js. Partial pre-rendering builds on a decade of research and development into server-side rendering, a static side generation, and incremental static revalidation. So basically, in order to understand what is pre-rendering, we will have to come here. Let's assume this is our header component, where like this is our logo. This is this is our cart list, component. Then this is our user component. We will write this here. Let's assume this is our header. We will make this bigger. So let's assume this is our logo, and this is our logo, and this is our cart list count. And let's assume this is our user profile. And this is also a static something. Then basically what happen is, here our logo is a static, and this component also is a static, but here our dynamic component is this cart list count, and user profile is our dynamic component. So it fetches the data dynamically and then show it. So in pre-rendering, what happen is, our static component like this one, our this component, and this, and our this, and this component, this and this component is a static component. And this component, and this component is dynamic component.
Settle.
It is in a pre-rendering, it will first render its static component, and then incrementally update its dynamic component. So on first loading of our site, we will see our static component first, then we will see our dynamic component. So this is the example given by Next.js. Here we can see our h1 is a static component, and other shopping cart is a dynamic component, and recommendation is also a dynamic component, and our banner is a static component. So basically what happening here is, when it is rendering, our h1 tag gets pre-render because it is a static component, and our dynamic component is shopping cart and recommendation. So our dynamic component is wrapped inside suspense boundary. It means that it will take some time to load its data. So at that time we will show a cart skeleton, and incrementally we will render our shopping cart and recommendation. So in this example we will see that at place of dynamic component, it is rendering our cart skeleton and a product list skeleton, and as its dynamic component loaded, it will show its dynamic component is here coming soon. So this is not the feature that gets released today. So it's coming soon, and it will come in the future very soon. Partial pre-rendering is under active development. We will be sharing more updates in an upcoming minor releases. It means that it will release in very near future, and as it gets update, I will update you as soon.